In these 4 short films entitled What Kind of Follower, we're asking, or at least starting a conversation across the country about what does it really mean to be a radical follower of Jesus in this day and generation. What are some of the challenges and what are the amazing blessings? And we started off by looking at the call of Jesus and our identity resting in that call. When the struggles and difficulties come, it's important for us to remember that the one who has called us knows us, is with us, and loves us as we journey with him. Then we looked a little bit about the cost involved. Jesus made it very clear that there would be costs to following him. Not everybody is going to welcome you being a person of faith. Sometimes it will take sacrifice, overcoming difficulties, struggling but keeping on the journey because he is with you in it. Then we looked at community and realized that while Jesus called you and me as individuals, he didn't call us to stay as individuals, but rather to be part of a community that both reflects the wonder of the Trinity, Father, Son, and Spirit in loving relationship, and also that final time when people of every tongue and tribe and nation worship Jesus unrestrictedly as a community of lavish love. And as we journey with brothers and sisters together, weeping together, laughing together, sharing together as the community of God. But what happens when you start the journey, it's all going well, and then suddenly something goes wrong, and you think God can't possibly love you anymore? You're tired, you feel battered, you're scratched, you're bruised, you're spiritually running on empty, you've got no electricity or petrol left in your soul and your heart, and you want to turn away. I want to tell you about restoration. That God continually works at your life, moving away the rust, sorting out the dents, making you fit to carry on the journey again. I love this guy in the New Testament called Peter. He's one of the first disciples. Jesus comes to him and calls him to follow, and he leaves his fishing business behind and heads off. He makes some of the most insightful statements in the whole of the Gospels, and he also makes statements that, well, you and I are probably likely to make. He sometimes speaks first and thinks later. And while he makes mistakes, he carries on the journey until the time that Jesus is arrested. And then really quickly, he's asked 3 times if he knows Jesus. And each time he denies, I don't know him. I've never met him. I don't know who he is. And with each different denial, it's as if a crash comes into his spirit. It's as if he's wounded, internally dying, as he's let down the one who's loved him so much. Is there any hope for a Peter? Maybe you ask that yourself. Maybe you're somebody who feels so you've let Jesus down, the pressure of the secular world pushing in on you, and you've said something or you've denied something and you think there's no hope for you. Or maybe suffering has come to you and you said, Jesus, where are you in that? And you've drifted away and you think, is there any way back for me? But I love the way in which the Peter story continues at the resurrection. When Jesus meets him at the beach and takes him away from all the other disciples and says to him 3 times, do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? As if bit by bit, restoring the spirit and heart of Peter, knocking away the rust, cleaning up the edges, polishing him all over again to carry on the journey with him. At the very beginning, we said the one who called you is faithful, gracious, loving, and he called you by name. And it is that same grace and love when we fall away that restores us, polishing us up, knocking out all the marks, restoring us with grace and love so that we are able to journey with him all over again. What a Savior we follow, the one who has lavished us in love and invited us to follow, the one who has brought us into a community of grace and mystery, the one who has been with us in our times of bitter tears and real pain, the one who restores us when we feel we can't take another step. Jesus, the one who calls us, is the one we follow.